What is the Valley of the Giants? What if I told you, the Bible says there was a valley filled with giants, real giants, warriors so powerful, entire armies feared them, and one young shepherd walked into that valley and changed history forever. The Bible confirms giants were real. The Bible clearly teaches giants existed. One of the main Hebrew words translated giants is Rephaim. These were powerful, tall warriors. They lived in certain regions of the land of Canaan. One of the most famous places connected to them is the Valley of the Giants, also called the Valley of Rephaim. But this valley was not just a place, it became the battlefield of one of the greatest miracles in the Bible. Keep listening. Where is the Valley of the Giants? The Valley of the Giants is mentioned in the book of Joshua, Joshua 15-8 KJV, and the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom unto the south side of the Jebusite, which is Jerusalem. Another clear reference, Joshua 18:16 KJV, and descended to the Valley of the Giants northward. This valley was located near Jerusalem. This was real geography, a real place, not mythology. The valley was home of the Rephaim. The giants who lived there were called Rephaim. They were feared, powerful, dangerous. They were enemies of God's people. They represented opposition, darkness, rebellion. But one giant from this valley became the most famous giant in history. His name still terrifies people today. Goliath came from the giantess. One of the most famous giants connected to this region was Goliath. His story is told in the book of 1 Samuel 17-4 KJV. And there went out a champion, named Goliath, of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. This is about 9 feet tall. He was massive, terrifying, a warrior. The valley where David faced the giant. A battle between David and Goliath happened in a valley. 1 Samuel 17-2 KJV, and pitched by the Valley of Elah. This valley became a battlefield between faith and fear, between God's power and human strength, and what happened next shocked the entire world. David entered the valley. A young shepherd named David entered the valley. He was not a soldier. He had no armor, only faith and a sling. Everyone else was afraid, but David trusted God. David defeated the giant. 1 Samuel 17:49 KJV, and the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. The giant fell. God defeated the giant. Through David, this valley became a place of victory. But giants existed long before David, and their origin goes back to Genesis. The origin of giants. The book of Genesis mentions giants. Genesis 6-4 KJV. There were giants in the earth in those days. This was before the flood, and after the flood. Giants existed in multiple generations. Other giants in the Valley. Many giants lived in this region. One example, Og, king of Bashan. Deuteronomy 3:11 KJV. Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. His bed was 9 cubits long, about 13 feet. He was enormous. This valley was not just a place of giants. It was a place where God proved his power. The Philistines fought in this valley. The Philistines were enemies of Israel. They often gathered in the Valley of Rephaim. 2 Samuel 5:18 KJV. The Philistines also came and spread themselves in the Valley of Rephaim. They prepared for war, but God intervened. God gave victory over giantess. David prayed to God. God answered. 2 Samuel 5:20 KJV. The Lord hath broken forth upon mine enemies. God defeated the giants. God defeated the enemy. This valley teaches a powerful spiritual lesson, and it applies to your life today. Spiritual meaning of the valley. With the valley represents fear, opposition, impossible battles. Giants represent problems, enormous obstacles, but God gives victory. Just like David, God is greater than giantess. David said, 1 Samuel 17:45, I come to thee in the name of the Lord. Victory comes from God, not human strength. But the story of giants does not end there. David's men fought other giants. 2 Samuel 21:22 KJV. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath. Multiple giants existed, but God gave victory again and again. The valley became a place of miraceli. What was once a place of fear became a place of victory because God was present.